Anna Bluebell was an only child to a Avari mother and father. Her father died at the age of 30 due to ammonia, while her mother remained. Before the death of her father, Anna and her mother got along well, but afterwards things took a terrible turn for Anna. Her mother, grief-stricken and dismayed, would begin to turn against her only child, often in rageful fits of violence and domestic abuse. On top of the physical harm she would do to Anna, she would also belittle Anna simply because she was there. It was quite often that the thought of Anna's mother wishing that she was dead instead of her father crossed Anna's mind routinely, especially when her mother would raise her hand against her. The abuse would go on for days, especially on the worser days when Anna's mother felt particularly combative for seemingly no particular reason at all. Anna was only the age of 10 when all of this would begin to happen against her, and it would continue on into her later years as a young adolescent Avari. It took the rescue of an aquatic beastkin to tear her away from her troubled life that Anna began to live again. The aquatic beastkin or alukin in question was a leopinikin, like the seals of earth, and Anna loved him. After the age of 15, Anna, along with this leopinikin, would comprise a plan to murder her mother and run away with each other, for they were madly in love. It wouldn't be some short months after that, Anna would soon discover the true nature of this leopinikin, whom would turn out to be just like her mother. He would physically beat her and verbally harass her whenever he felt like it. And because he was a rather big and round beastkin to the otherwise smaller Fennekin Avari, there was nothing she could do. Like with her mother, she couldn't and wouldn't fight back against the larger beastkin, and would instead endure his beatings, often coming out several battered and bruised. There would be times when her very life would be in danger from these physical attacks to the point of hospitalization. Whenever she would be questioned about her cuts and bruises, she would always lie, as say they were self-inflicted, which still held some truth, for she was known to also self-harm herself over the loss of her dear father. The Bluebell family was once a renowned family line of proud Avari who took their duties quite seriously, whatever that may be. Her father was once known to be a preacher at the school he himself built for the neighboring children of their village in Alaska. It was the only known school for children at the time, and thusly needed for the growing youngkins' education. While Anna's father worked at a preacher for their school, he also worked at a devotee of the gods, and would often preach to the adults the meaning of religion and taught them the Divine Seven. With her father gone, Anna was left at the mercy of her mother's wrath before she too would be killed by the hands of Anna's former lover. It would seem that Anna was succumbed to a life of misery when one day an Elkai Dominion enforcer would relieve her from years of suffering. It would be known that the Leopinikin was known to be a wanted sea pirate. He was charged with smuggling thousands of illegal drugs and meat, all which came across the Great Alu from the island of Zuxin. Now it is believed all over the world of Ain that such things were not only illegal to obtain, but considered highly dangerous. The drugs that he would smuggle were known to be a highly toxic chemical from the large bug-like apex of Zuxin. Their venom extraction was known to be used in many medicine practices to help heal wounds and even combat discovered viruses of the body. However, when set ablaze under, say, a Shore Magica, even just a tablespoon of the stuff is enough to create a noxious gas that is said to intoxicate and inebriate anyone who inhales it. Too much of the substance, however, could lead to failure within the body and emanate death. The meat of these giant Zuxin insects would be just as toxic. However, when cooked properly, it can pass as safe for consumption. But because very few cooks in the world know how to prepare it, save for the Zuxin themselves, it is considered illegal as it could easily kill someone if ill prepared. Despite knowing this, many will try to get their grubby hands on such forbidden luxuries for themselves, and thus brings in the class of smugglers like the Leopinikin. However, fate, as it were, would catch up to him in the form if an otherwise uncanny savior who not only saved Anna from the abuse, but from herself as well. It would be from that day on that Anna would swear her life to the Elkai Dominion and would grow up to see them as the superior race. She would serve them for many years, starting as a simple soldier to that of lieutenant of her own squadron. She would also play a heavy part in the enslavement of the Hundine race and seen as the face of sheer temper. She grew colder, meaner, and darker in her cold steel heart and held no regard to any other life save for the Elkai she was so prone to serve.